If you're a playlist junkie, then here's another list you can recreate and listen with me. Today's an easy one to do because it's all from one album, Metallica's recent Hardwired to Self Destruct. Do you ever listen to an album and think, that's great, but the track list could be arranged better? Typically, most people listen to albums as is. You start with the first song and listen all the way to the end. But this is the digital age. You can do whatever you want. Even back with CD players, you could shuffle the order. The way one song follows another affects the flow and may give you an entirely different impression. Metallica themselves are a fan of changing things up. I was at the Orion Fest in New Jersey and witnessed them on 2 nights play the entire Ride the Lightning and Black albums, both played backwards. No, the songs weren't backwards. That would be weird. The order was. The point is, your appreciation of songs can have a lot to do with the order you hear them in. I really love Hardwired, but I have one gripe, and that's all about how the songs were selected. First of all, it's 2 CDs, and in total, it all clocks in at 1 hour, 18 minutes. The whole thing fits on one CD. If you make yourself a copy to listen to in your car or something, you can burn the whole thing on one disc. So there's no reason it needed to be on 2 discs. Regardless, it's a lot of songs. The first thing I would do differently is omit 4 of the songs, making it 51 minutes. They could have saved the other songs like they did with the unused Death Magnetic tracks that they later put on an EP called Beyond Magnetic. But I know this time they wanted to give us the whole shebang, and that's cool, but I think there may be a lot of people who didn't get the opportunity to appreciate the album as much as they could have because they had so much to digest. My alternate track listing will give you a more condensed experience. Or, if you already love it the way it is and heard it a bunch of times already, this will give you a fresh new way to hear it again. And if you're a classic Metallica fan who only likes the old shit, as James would put it, then I guarantee this track list will make it feel more like you're listening to one of the classic albums, and it will rejuvenate your enthusiasm. Track number 1, Hardwired. The first track is good the way it is. Most of the 80s albums started with one of the fastest, most brutal tracks they had to offer. I miss the acoustic guitar intros that you hear in those track 1 songs like Fight Fire with Fire and Battery, but aside from that, this is pretty much in tune with how you'd start a Metallica album. Track number 2, Moth into Flame. This would have been the natural follow-up. The opening guitar part reminds me of the opening of the title track 2 of Ride the Lightning. The track 1 songs were meant to knock you on your ass. Now that you've braced yourself, they introduce more complexity to the songs, longer guitar solos, that sort of thing. But they also bring the tempo down a little bit. It's like we're in a car getting onto a highway. First we need that boost to get on there, and now that we're on the highway, we're in the flow of traffic, we're cruising. Number 3, Now That We're Dead. We descend in tempo even more. I'm not sure if the tempo actually is slower, but it feels like it. It's steady and heavy, but less manic. Compare it with all the track 3s like For Whom the Bell Tolls and The Thing That Should Not Be. This fits perfectly in place. And here we have a problem. Track 4, Murder 1. There is no rightful track 4 on Hardwired. I'm talking about those dark ballads like Fade to Black, Sanitarium, 1. Where did all that go? I think Murder 1 is the closest thing you can find on this album, but it's only for the first 9 seconds. The beginning almost sounds like Fade to Black, and it works perfectly, but only for that short intro. So for this one, I'm going to give you the option. If we can substitute a track with a song from a different album, the most recent example that Metallica has to offer would be from Death Magnetic, track 4, The Day That Never Comes. This is a beautiful track and is their most recent equivalent to the song 1. Track 5, Atlas Rise. If this were an audio cassette, this would be when you flip it to side B. This is like after the intermission, when the play starts up again. This track has a lot of responsibility because track 4 sounded like a finale. Your mind is already blown, so this one has to catch your interest and keep you on board for the rest. So that's why I put here what I think is the best song on the album. It sounds like Iron Maiden. I can't get enough of it. Track 6, Here Comes Revenge. Almost anything could go here. There isn't anything specific that it needs to do other than just be another satisfying song to keep you tuned in. Track 7, Halo on Fire. Once again, there's a little bit of a problem. Around here is where the instrumental would go. Think of Call of Cthulhu, Orion, To Live Is To Die, or the most recent example, Suicide and Redemption from Death Magnetic. That would be a perfect choice. But Halo on Fire still has a great finish to it. The last 2 minutes of the song has sort of a curtain call type of feel. Hard to explain, but it just has a good ending. And at last, track 8, Spit Out the Bone. This is like the encore. After you're already satisfied, they come out for one last blistering performance. This is how the album normally ends. It makes sense to me that they bookend it with the 2 heaviest tracks. This is just like the final tracks of most of their classic albums. Think of songs like Damage Incorporated, Dyer's Eve, and My Apocalypse. And there you have it, the best way to listen to Hardwired, in my opinion. And if you don't believe me, just make the list and give it a listen. Just once, you'll see what I mean. But you don't have to stop there. Once you know that template, you can take different Metallica albums and trade songs from each. I made an album called Lightning Master and Justice Magnetic, so you could have fun with it and mix them up any way you like. And once you start doing that, you're a playlist junkie.